biggest takeaway from today?
Oh, I don't know. I woke up. I had a pretty good tea in the
Yeah.
morning, and then Shanghai won their first game. So overall, a pretty good day.
I feel like after that, the energy was zapped out of us because we were.
Yeah, I lost my voice for about an hour after Shanghai won. Genuinely, like we were all down there. It felt like it was an hour ago.
What happens to the book now? You know, we'll talk about that later. I want to know. Yeah, I want to know what happens, but we'll get back into that. And of course, don't forget to pick up your Overwatch League All Access Pass so you can check out the live Q&A with Gushue from the Hangzhou Spark live on Twitch right after Watchpoint. Now, despite going to map 5 in both their first 2 games, the Houston Outlaws were still searching for that elusive first victory in 2019, and taking the first 2 maps is a good place to start. The Outlaws, a team that's been underperforming in the eyes of many, hoping to take down the 2-0 Hangzhou Spark. Spree getting the call over Cool Matt in an unexpected turn of events. And how did that bode for Houston? Rather fantastic.
It absolutely did. I'm glad they took my advice, you know, don't choke. They
Don't
finally
choke.
did
Yeah,
it. They closed out a series. Well done, Houston. I will say this.
Career ahead of you, Brent.
Thank you, Zoe. Yeah.
Happening.
I got a future as soon as I get fired off of this day.
That's gonna happen too. Don't worry about
Good
it.
news. But I will say, Houston, they played pretty good. Like a big part of this, I think, like Jake said in his interview, these guys, they've been grinding, they've been grafting, they've been looking forward to their first win. They've been working towards this point.
Yes.
I'm happy they finally got it now. But it also does need to be said that Hangzhou, I think, underperformed quite massively.
For sure.
This
They
game,
weren't themselves.
They were not the same team that played against Valiant and beat them that we saw last week. It was actually absurd. And do you know why I think it's a classic case of that? Is because in map 4, as soon as the series is pretty much won and done and dusted, suddenly Hangzhou start playing well again. So, like, where's the logic there? Clearly something's going on with them mentally to kind of just, I don't know, just make sure that they can't, I don't know, play to their potential. It's so weird to just watch, and also very annoying because we don't get to see the maximum potential.
Indeed, indeed. You know what? I got to say, I feel like Houston didn't even play bad in their previous games. They took them all to map 5, so I don't want to take too much away from them, but congrats to the Outlaws. But now, we've got to call out our man Brandon here for a very bold prediction he made earlier today, so let's do that.
Yeah, I'm roasted on Twitter for this.
Of course you do.
Like you don't know other
I
times.
think the Houston Outlaws are not going to win a single game.
Whoa.
Single game win.
Really? No,
Stage
they're
one,
veterans.
Yeah, that's kind of open.
Yeah, well, that one didn't age well, Brent, did
That's
it?
not me.
Didn't. It didn't, bro.
Mate, you seen the stuff
You need to
they're
chuck
doing?
the whole bottle of hot sauce now for
you
that.
seen the stuff they're doing with machine learning these days? Like, you can fake videos
Oh, we've
easily.
gone back today.
Oh, so that was
you can
dumb.
make videos
Okay.
so easily, artificial intelligence, all that. Elon Musk was right, man. They're going to be coming out with these videos with me saying that I said stuff that I didn't say.
Don't you think you owe the Outlaws an apology? Just give them
Oh,
an
of course, yeah. I apologize to all the Outlaws fans out there. There's a lot of them, actually. I was going to make the same joke I did to Florida, but I can't do them like that. There was a lot of Houston fans. Yeah, I was wrong. I'll take responsibility to that.
All right. Well, thank you, Brent, for doing that and being the humble guy. You're a stand-up guy for that. Now it's time to name our player of the match presented by Omen by HP, and it's Muma.
Of course it
deserved.
is. He went ham on Hammond. I tell you that. He actually, I know, I
see what you
was
did there.
waiting all day for this one. But no, he had on Busan when I played, he actually didn't die a single time and had 20 limbs in the end of it. So yeah, he was unstoppable. He rolled right through them, Bren.
I've always been
Got
a
it?
big fan of Muma, though. Here's the thing, like, I've known this guy for a long time. His tank play, he's always been a grinder. He's always been grafting and putting in his own play. I have always held the opinion that he is the best Western main tank right now. I think Super and Fusions has given him a bit of competition in that regard recently, but he's always been up there. And he even in recent times, you know, if we think back to the Overwatch World Cup, he's always had people were overly mean to him. You know, I was a bit upset. You know, there's a lot of blame being put onto his shoulders. Undeserved because, you know, the way that the triple tank, triple support meta works is often your tank play correlates to how well you're supported and how well you're supported. So, you know, it is a team game at the end of the day. So I'm glad that Muma is now performing well.
Real talk, man, and congrats to Muma. But we have to talk about the biggest story of day one because I can't believe I'm about to even say this, but 42 matches later, the Shanghai Dragons have won their first game.
I am
crazy. And you know, I don't know what else I can say. I'm still kind of speechless about it. You know,
the
to be
Shanghai
honest.
Lizards became the Shanghai Dragons today. It was absolutely fantastic. And we were here for it. And yes, we didn't all vote for the Shanghai Dragons, but you know, from now on, now they have that one victory, now we can have faith in them.
All right, look. Coming into today, Bren may have been off the mark with the Outlaws, but he was the only one of our analysts who believed in Shanghai.
I think they're the better team.
You think they're the better team? That's it.
They're gonna win. I believe in them.
What a phenomenal.
You really think Shanghai's gonna beat Boston?
Yeah.
He picks Shanghai. He picks Shanghai every show.
Someone's got to believe me.
That hot sauce went to your head, bro.
Someone's got to believe in them.
Someone has to do
be me.
it.
You drank too much milk or something.
So here's the thing.
That one's in Nashville.
No, but here's the thing. You can't look like a genius if no, because you just voted for them 42 times. Eventually, you had to get it right.
I don't think I voted for them 42 times.
You did.
Did you
pick
go back
them.
and count?
I can't. You know what? I'm gonna make this my mission. And the times where you didn't vote for them, you backpedaled and then voted for them. Like,
Yeah, maybe.
You know,
Yeah. You might be
flip-flop,
right.
Brent.
You might be wrong.
That's what it is.
You know,
At the end of the day, he got it right. Finally. All right. So, but let's check out exactly how they did it, because it didn't just come out of thin air. They did have to play a full game against the strong Boston team. The Dragons, 42 times they've tried, 42 times they failed, with the 43rd time be a charm. The Boston Uprising will hope not. Color Hex getting his first start. Axiom in the game as well. No one expected the wild ride this game would be, except maybe Brent.
Except maybe me.
Of course.
Yeah. This was honestly a fantastic game by Shanghai. I think they were very coordinated. They seem to have fixed a lot of their issues. I think Gamsu is being fueled by pure rage after being let go by his old team. I like it. Honestly, this match was brilliant for two reasons. You know, there was two major storylines. One, Shanghai got their first win, and two, Gamsu got revenge as well, which we haven't really talked about. It was overshadowed by the fact that Shanghai got their first win, but Gamsu used to play for Boston. This guy, you know, he comes onto this team. They have never won a game in the history of the Overwatch League. He's on this roster, and he gets them their first win against his old team. That's movie magic, right?
It is movie magic.
Let's hope it's one of many, really. And the players who really stood out here, Ding and Diem, they put in so much work for that team. Like, we can't stress it enough.
And I gotta say, at this point in the match, the Dragons were in uncharted territory in the second half, because they've never been up 2-0 in a match ever in Overwatch League history. Never. It's really
genuinely
wild.
crazy, and it's just madness. Honestly, even now, it's like after day one, it felt like the day was over. We had just accomplished everything, you know. I was in the arena, everyone was cheering, man. It was honestly, it was mental.
There were real tears in the audience.
There were real tears of joy coming out from the people. I was almost crying at some point. It was just phenomenal to see. But I think we also need to address now as well what's going on with Boston as well, because I can't really let this slide, to be honest. I do wonder how much of this is the fact that they've decided to swap up their roster so much at the last minute.
Yes.
Putting in Color Hex, they hadn't really played with him at all because he was suspended. They didn't run fusions, as far as I'm aware, it's because of some rule set with contenders. So it's, yeah, how much is that based off of the fact that they were playing with an unfamiliar roster?
Yeah, how much practice did they get with Axiom there?
Exactly.
You know, those are questions that we're going to have answered at some point, but I'm sure it had to play a part in this, not to take anything away from the Shanghai Dragons.
Of course.
Because they look better this year.
Yep.
All together, they do. Yeah, they look great. Well, man, huge congrats to the Shanghai Dragons. We've actually got one of our insiders, Danny Lim, backstage right now with Gaguri and Gamsu. I think it's coming. Danny, you back there? You back there, Danny?
Keep on staring, Malik.
All right, actually, you know what? In the meantime, tweets. All right, Gaguri. She tweeted out first. Thanks, my team.
So
thanks, my fan. Today we win. Awesome, right? It's good to see them happy. Gamsu, we made a first win today. We were getting too much pressure for the losing streak, but we will overcome and be a great team now. I love it, Gamsu.
So
I love
pleased,
it. I love it.
Yeah.
And last but not least, the way we celebrated. Look, it's all of us.
Such a fantastic picture. Shout out to Kevin for taking that one. Our stage manager.
Right. All right.
Shot, man.
All right. So I'm hearing now Danny's ready for that interview. So let's go ahead and throw it back to him right now.
Thank you so much, Malik. What up, guys? Danny Lim here. I am here with Gaguri and Kamsa from Shanghai Dragons. First of all, guys, congratulations. 축하드립니다. 박수 한번 칠까요? Now, you guys now had some time, a little bit of time to go back and, reflect on this wonderful win that you guys finally got, the first win for Shanghai Dragons. How was it like inside the dugout? How was the team, the staff? What were they thinking? Like, how are they reacting to this win? 자, 지금 이제 경기가 끝나고 좀 어느 정도 시간이 좀 지났잖아요. 지금 제가 정말 궁금한 거는 상하이 팀은 지금 이제 더가웃으로 들어가서 상황이 어떤가요? 지금 굉장히 좀 뭐가 제가 봤을 때는 굉장히 다들 신나 있고 좀 이럴 것 같은데 좀 듣고 싶어요. 누가 답을 할까요? 감수.
경기를 하고 제가 바로 인터뷰를 갔거든요. 인터뷰를 갔다가 선수가 모인 연습실 들어가니까 다들 생각보다 차분하더라고요. 제 생각엔 아직 승리에 더 굶주린 게 아닌가 싶습니다.
So right after our win, I actually had to go for an interview, and then when I got back to the dugout from the interview, it seemed like all the staff and all my teammates were very composed and calm. I feel like that's because Shanghai Dragons, our team, is still hungry for more victories. All right, that's actually pretty interesting. Kiguri, I'm sure your team is going to celebrate tonight for this amazing win. What are you guys going to do tonight? 자, 아무래도 이번에 또 굉장히 또 특별한 상하이 팀에게는 우승이잖아요. 오늘 어떻게 제 생각에 좀 파티를 할 것 같은데 오늘 뭐 하실 생각이신가요?
오늘 저녁을 정말 맛있는 거를 팀에서 사주지 않을까 기대가 됩니다.
I feel like the team is going to treat us by buying us a very, very special meal tonight. What do you want to eat? 먹고 싶은 게 있다면 뭐가 먹고 싶나요?
양꼬치? 감수님이 먹고 싶다고 해서.
Kamsu actually told me that he actually wanted lamb kebab. So I feel like Shanghai team is going for a lamb kebab. Can you, verify? Yep, team said yes. So congratulations again. Thank you. Thank you. All right, that's all I have, Malik. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Danny. What did he say? A lamb kebab?
A lamb kebab.
Lamb kebab.
Lamb kebab. Lamb kebab. It didn't click with me. It didn't click with me, man. I wonder if they're gonna pop Coca-Cola bottles to celebrate, like in their locker room. You know how the athletes they do the champagne bottles in the NBA. I don't know. Anyways, guys, we're not done yet. We'll be right back with some more Watchpoint Post Show.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. High ground or low ground, T-Mobile has you covered.
Welcome back to the Watchpoint Post Show. I'm your host, Malik Forte, and if you're wondering, yes, this jacket was inspired by Cowboy Bebop. Anyways, this was an incredible day of matches, and our Stage 4 playoff rematch lived up to the hype, for sure. The top two teams from last year doing battle for the first time in 2019. New York looking to roll to 3-0, but the Valiant, they wouldn't make it too easy.
Yeah, this was legitimately sick Overwatch to watch. Like, this was an insane game between these two teams. Both teams were playing to a very high level. New York managing to essentially edge it out towards the end. The initial first map, I think Valiant obviously playing a lot better because they took the map away from them. New York managed to clean up their act a little bit though when it came later on. And honestly, it's just beautiful to watch because everything's clean, everything's surgical. The ultimates are not really being misused at all. So like, it's like how the game was meant to be played when it's played at this high level. It's honestly a treat, always, every single time when you watch two teams with just such a high understanding of the current meta.
Yeah, I really like map 3, which we are currently seeing right now. I think Valiant played this one absolutely brilliant. They completely ignored the pharmacy in the sky and just played the positions right and edged it out in the end. Also, as you said, Busan was really clean from the Valiant there. Really, really clean 3-3. And we saw Costa back in also, which we've been missing, honestly. Like,
it's a good point, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great point.
Where has Costa been? I don't know. Apparently now he's a control specialist.
Yeah,
right?
That's, you know, that's how things
Very interesting, very interesting. And let's talk a little bit more about Mono and Meko, because I feel like they just continue to improve. I don't know how that's possible, but it seems like they do.
Yeah. These guys are at such a high level already. It's honestly amazing to me to see them actually playing in this like I said, the triple tank, triple support meta game where tank play is so important. These guys just seem to be able to realistically make zero mistakes as the game is going on. And as the series progressed, I've already mentioned it before, but they did seem to look better and better. It was honestly phenomenal.
It's just the team play, the synergy those two guys have. The many ways Mano is managing to set Meko up for those big bombs is absolutely brilliant to watch. Where map 4, Rialto, might have been a little bit of a brawl, map 5, Ilios was again very much in the favor of New York. Nene once again popping up.
Now, for the LA Valiant, they're now falling to 0-2 after this match, but is it a believable 0-2? Because I feel like they're still one of the strongest teams in the league. Yeah, despite being 0-2.
A fantastic question, honestly, Malik, because people are going to be looking at these standings and they're going to be seeing the fact that Valiant are 0-2 and they're going to be like, well, what's going on here? You know, there's a lot of Valiant fans around the area, believe it or not. We are based in LA, so it does tend to happen. But it's, you know, the players or the teams that they were playing against, Hangzhou and New York, not easy teams in the slightest. I mean, after today, you might change that opinion with Hangzhou because I didn't think they played particularly too well. But at the time, they played fantastic against them. So they were very tough matches. They took them to the distance on both times. I don't think you can be too upset if you're a Valiant fan.
Indeed. All right, so among other things that happened today, because there was a lot, the Fran and the Atlanta Reign were back in action against another exciting fresh face in the league, the Toronto Defiant. Now, we knew we were in for a brawl. We just weren't sure if Toronto would defy the odds or if the Reign would A-Town stomp their way to victory. But at the top of this match, things appeared to be rather close.
Yes, it did, right from the top of the game. And I mean, Toronto started off nice and early. They seem to be understanding how to play Busan. It's a bit more hectic when you're playing in the control game mode. So I saw good things, you know. I was pretty excited. I was like, yes, okay, starting things off nice and easy with my predictions. And then it just went haywire towards the end, you know.
Right. And after map 1, it looked like Ivy had the edge in the Zarya battle.
Yep,
but
exactly.
Things turned around for Atlanta in map 2, for sure.
Yeah, they really did. So as you can see from the stats here, Ivy outperformed Defran when it comes to that first map. But then that's when the storyline really changed as well for the better for the Atlanta Reign, because Defran ended up performing way better when it comes to map 2, 3, and 4 on the Zarya itself. Ivy's still not having a terrible game by any means, but still it was a step up from Atlanta in terms of how they played. I remember Defran was running around the hallways after the first map saying, well, I can't remember what he was screaming precisely, but he was saying like something like, "This is what happens when you coordinate and when you focus people." He was just screaming it, running around the corridors.
I think the coordination was really what I felt it was lacking on the Toronto side of things. Yeah. With their ultimates, most of all, I really felt like, oh, Q is ready, let's drop it. That's how it felt in a lot of the team fights, which made it look really brawly. They dragged on for a long time, but it wasn't clean by any means. Whereas the individual players like Envy ate a lot of great grabs, and Aid had a great like coalescence and whatnot. Like individual standout performances were there, but it didn't come together as a team.
Also, Dako. Yeah, that's another individual standout performance I think a lot of people might have slept on. Dako was phenomenal in this game.
Yeah, he really was. I think Atlanta can be quite pleased with his performance, obviously. Yeah. They come out with the win. To your point there, Zoe, as well, saying how, you know, Toronto didn't look particularly too comfortable. They're a bit all over the place. I mean, that does tend to happen as well when teams play unusual compositions like Atlanta were pulling out. When they don't play the standard, it can often throw these teams, you know, off tilt a little bit.
Indeed. I wonder, you know, Toronto, what they can build on after this match.
Quite a lot, yeah. I mean, it's not the worst case scenario in the world. They've shown that they have potential there. They've already won one match. They've got a win under their belts already. This one, there is obviously things to be, you know, looked upon and work on existingly. So it's not the worst case in the world, the worst case scenario where they're just coming off with 2 losses, you know. They still got obviously areas to work upon. And here's the Zarya statistics you can see as well as the games progress. So you can see complete turnaround from that first map where Defran wasn't really performing too well, and then as it progresses, he just seems to outclass Ivy in terms of the average energy, as well as his, you know, Olympusburg graviton. So that's showing that he's getting better efficiency with his graviton surges.
Right, and that ended up to be the difference maker when it came to Atlanta coming out victorious. Now, coming up, we've got our most over-the-top moments of the day. Don't go anywhere. This is the Watchpoint Post-Show.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, everyone. It's now time for a segment that we all love. It's time to give props to our most over-the-top moments of the day. Starting off, we got Postshow, who had a crazy halt that saved his team from an earth shatter. Crazy.
This was insane, honestly. You don't see plays like that pretty often. I'm glad that we managed to catch that.
Yeah.
I mean, if Postshow didn't save it, the Ice Wall might have as well. You know, they had all the tools ready for them, ready and waiting. So,
right.
Impressive.
This right here, a Kodak moment. Of course, the player Kodak handing over a jersey to a player.
Oh man, we had so many.
Isn't it so cool?
Tiny Atlanta fans in the audience.
Yes.
No, that was like a whole bunch of kids, which that was just so heartwarming.
It warms my heart. Coma with that crazy boop to the Reaper, trying to ult.
Akoma had really good stats. He did really well. I really think he stepped it up from what we've seen from him last week. So very proud of him and
You hate to see it, Reaper. You hate to see it. Oh, and of course, the wings from earlier.
Oh boy.
This is a moment you don't want to remember, right?
Yeah, this was quite difficult.
Oh. And of course, Zoe rapping. I had to listen to Zoe's rhymes. Zoe's rhymes were so hot. So you couldn't get the whole rap off though, because of Matt.
No, Matt was doing like some real ad-libs there, and it threw me off completely. I had to laugh.
Right, he was like the fourth member of the Migos or something. And last but not least, of course, we have the victory. The Shanghai Dragons' first ever victory here in the Overwatch League. I have not heard the arena that loud since one of the battles of LA. It was so loud in here after the Shanghai won that match.
Yeah, my favorite thing about Shanghai is every time they came close to victory, like production would come out, like the entirety of production would just come out to the floor just to watch them. And today
no
was
idea who's
finally
running
the
the
day.
show.
Yeah, it was bizarre. There was like 50 members of production just there, probably breaking all sorts of fire marshal codes and all sorts, but I'm not too sure.
Right. And those were the moments that made us cheer the most. But now, let's see what made you guys cheer on Twitch. You guys are cheering on the Atlanta Reign quite a bit. They're still in the lead after jumping the Hangzhou Spark earlier this week. The New York Excelsior also inching up too. And here's a look at our individual cheer bids leaders. We have Numra TV. Shouts out to you. If you want to end up on that board, make sure you keep those donations coming, people. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the Watchpoint Post Show. Welcome back, everybody. We've got another stacked day for you tomorrow. As you can see, first match, we got the Paris Eternal taking the stage once again up against the LA Gladiators. So I know you're looking forward to that one for sure. We also have the Philadelphia Fusion going up against the Dallas Fuel. Of course, Philly dropping that last match. They're going to be looking to bounce back. The Vancouver Titans are back in action as well against the Charge. That's going to be another good one. Zoe, what are you looking out for the most tomorrow? Did I spill the beans already?
No, actually you didn't. I mean, yeah, I'm super excited to see Paris back on that stage again. But really, I think the big match tomorrow is going to be that Titans versus Charge. I want to see what those two teams are going to bring to the table.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be agreeing in in conclusion, I forgot how the English language worked for a second.
Me too. Like, I don't know
I just started saying words. No, I'm excited for match 1, match 3 as well. I think it's going to be super interesting to see how Paris play, given the fact that we haven't seen much of them. I think it's going to be interesting to see how they play against Gladiators, a team that like to play a lot of triple tank, triple support compositions. So, yeah, it's going to be fantastic.
Paris is like the God Goats team, the God 3-3 team.
Exactly. And everyone keeps claiming this, but now we're going to see if it's actually true.
Right. You're right about that. It's going to be interesting. Well, that's going to be all for us today, and actually all for me this week. Puckett is tagging in tomorrow. And don't forget the Q&A with Gushway is coming up next, only on the Overwatch League All Access Pass on Twitch. We'll see you guys tomorrow.